This is Patrick with New Jersey's Outdoor Adventures YouTube channel. Very excited to have Michael on the channel today. I've known him for about 15 years, and he's excited to show you his self-built Mercedes-Benz Sprinter 4x4, and there's some things in there that I've never seen before, and I'm excited to show you. So join us for the tour.
Hi Patrick, thanks for having me on the channel. This is my 2019 Sprinter. I've had a Class B in the past, and I decided it's time to build it on my own so I could have exactly what I wanted. I put a lot of miles in, and after that you get the experience and you find out the things that you need and you don't need. I built this specifically to take on the beach. That's why I bought the 4x4. So in the front, we have a trailer hitch that holds a rack and a rod holder so that you don't have to bring any of that stuff inside the van. I have the Van Compass 2.3 suspension, the aluminum Rhino wheels, and the KO2 tires. I have running boards. I have the light for outside, the bug screen, the roof rack I put on in order to put on some solar, but I realized with the large buck boost and the way we travel, and the 400 amp hour system that I really didn't need solar and just never installed it. Here's the CRL windows that tilt open. They got bug screens on them. The Van Compass 4.3 also has the adjustable shocks in the back. I added leaf springs so it could handle an extra 1,500 pound load. Over here we have the washdown where I put an outdoor shower on, and with a magnet I can hold it to the body, and if somebody wants to take a shower outside or clean something before they want to put it away, they can do that. Over here, of course, is the smart plug, so you can plug into shore power, and the plug for the trailer hitch. Over here we have a 110 volt outlet that's run through the inverter. So if you want to plug something in at night, you don't want to keep your doors open, or if it's raining. The CRL windows again that you can adjust while laying in the bed. You know, as it gets colder in the middle of the night, you just reach over and just slowly crank them closed when you have your fan going to get the temperature that you want. I have another light for this side of the van. So let me show you what we have in the back. I custom built all these aluminum racks out of 2x2 aluminum. I cut it up on a chop saw and had a friend of mine weld it all together. This way there's no wood or anything that could break or cause a problem or a fire. I've got 400 amp hours of lithium, the Victron buck boost. I do have a solar charge controller, but like I said, never bothered with anything because we just didn't feel it was necessary. I've got the Victron 3000 watt inverter, all marine wire, all Blue Sea switches and breakers, as you can see. Over here I have a shunt to shut off the power. So this way, if you're going to store it for a while, there's no draw. Over on the passenger side, you'll notice that I have an aluminum panel here. That hides all the plumbing. I have the same aluminum panel for the electrical side. It's just that I left it off in order for you to do the video. So you just loosen these two screws and the other two thumb screws at the front, plop this down, and you have access to all your plumbing. Your tank, your pump, your mixing valve, your water heater, anything you might need access to. If you want to, you can also raise up the cushion and access anything through the back quickly, or at least take a look and see if you have any problems. If there's anything you might need to fix. I have a water fill here with a quick connect. This is for air to blow out the system, the vent for the tank, and the low point drain right over here. So for hot water, I have a nice Temp 4.5 gallon water heater that runs off the inverter. It takes about 45 minutes for it to heat up. It uses about 100 amp hours to get it up to 160 degrees. And being that it's so hot, it'll give you at least 3 or 4 quick on and off showers. Now over here we have the removable tray. Comes out with the 500 pound slides. that we keep all of our tools in, or anything that we don't have to access that much. And try to give you more room, we've installed this board here, which with 2 screws just slides right out. So if you want to stand bikes up in here, I have the L tracks inside that you can bind them down, and you have a lot higher clearance to get a decent sized bike in. When we take my younger daughter with us, this is where she sleeps, under here. Of course, the panel is up here. When you have this out, you see the L track is here, and this was all custom made. This is all 1/8" aluminum, all bent and welded together so that you have some sides and you can actually hold something. You see so many of them that are just a flat piece of plywood that you probably have to stack everything in the middle so that it doesn't fall over. But with the sides, you can store quite a bit of stuff in here and not have to worry it's going to fall into your electrical or your water system. I didn't want to own a van that I couldn't take a piece of plywood home. So what I did with this one is the mattress is made in 3 pieces. It's 6-inch memory foam covered in natural leather. And this panel comes out, and you lift this panel out and you put it down, and now you have a full 8, 10, 12 feet, whatever you need to haul something in. And you just put it in your garage and put it back when you need it. The wall material is fabric. It has the styrofoam behind it and a piece of 1/4-inch Luan. If you notice, everything is riv nutted. There are no self-tapping screws that are going to start to wear out if you want to remove things. If I want to take this wall out and fix the speaker or do something back there, all I have to do is take these 2 screws out and the panel comes off. That goes the same with all the panels in the whole van. You just take the screws out, the whole panel will come down. You could add a wire, take out a wire, or do whatever you have to do. This van is spray foamed. The ceilings, the walls, the floor though is 1-inch polyiso with 1-inch aluminum tubing that's bolted down to the original tie downs in the van floor and glued with marine adhesive. So that, and it's got 3/4 of an inch of marine plywood underneath this piece of stainless steel edging you can see there. Just to give you the lay of the land, we have the swivel seat. I have a shelf up here with a curtain, this large bank of drawers, toaster oven in here, microwave, refrigerator, bathroom and shower, the galley with the stainless steel top, and a slightly larger than queen size bed. Now that you know where everything is laid out, let me go into some of the details. Up here we have our mandatory pizza oven shelf. I found these brackets on one of Patrick's other shows, and it comes with a template, so I gave it to a fabricator and told him what I wanted to have made, and then I glued the fabric to it. So I had the factory swivel seat, an aftermarket head unit, got my fire extinguisher here, I've got some hooks and stuff over here. You could hang your jacket, sweaters, whatever it is, you keep something in the van. Over here we have a curtain on the hospital track. We just pull across, and I had this custom sewn with the blackout material on it so that when people look from the front, not only do they not see any light, but it almost looks like the van is just empty in the back. In here I keep the window cover for the CRL window. The bank of drawers over here are all self-close. These are custom made with dovetail construction, made in a factory. I just didn't have the time to get involved in making this, nor did I think that I could make them as good as they did in the factory. And I have different sizes if you want to fit anything big. You have bigger drawers. I have an ARB compressor under the driver's seat. I also have the dump valve for the gray tank, sits under the driver's seat. This piece of stainless steel is something different that you don't see on too many vans. What I did was I purchased a Nissan seat that could sit anywhere. These are all laser cut. When I want to put the seat in, I take these out and the seat snaps in here just as it would in a Nissan van. Underneath the van, it's not just bolts and washers, but metal plates. If that's for that seat to come out, you'd have to rip a hole in this floor 2 feet by 2 feet. Over here is this, you have the switch for your water pump, your interior lights, the diesel heater. Here's the timer for the water heater. So in case you forget that you're going to have your heater on and you don't want to waste all your battery overnight while you're sleeping, 45 minutes when that heater is up to temperature, it'll turn off automatically. Got the USB over here, 110 volt outlet. One of the outlets for the diesel heater is here. Of course, the Lagoon table mount here for when the seat is in this position. When you have 2 people in the van and the seats are facing forward, there's another mount in the seat pedestal so that the people could have the table in between them. Over here, of course, we have more seat, more drawers. Here's the isotherm refrigerator. It's got a small freezer in the top, the stainless steel front, and the flush mount refrigerator, and a microwave. The max air fan in the ceiling. Here's a switch for the light for the bathroom and dimmer. And inside I have an Ipe floor with an airhead composting toilet that vents out the bottom. What I've done with this is I've added an extra fan so that while the van is driving, anybody who vents their composting toilet out the bottom will know that the fan that comes with it's not strong enough. So I have an extra fan that only will run while it's driving so that you don't have any problems with odors, and it works really well. This aluminum bathroom is a creation of mine and a fabricator that I hooked up with. I gave him a template of the back of the van and the shape. He made this on a computer, cut it out of pieces of aluminum and bent it. It comes in 3 pieces. The back and the ceiling are 1 piece, the 2 sides, and the floor. It only takes up, because it's 1/8 inch aluminum, that's all you lose. There's no framing involved. It's just pop riveted together, caulked at the seams, and it's really sturdy. So on the inside, you'll see how spacious this is. I'm 6 foot tall. I can feel my hair up at the top there, but you have plenty of room. It's 36 by 24. If you'll notice, there's no shower control. And this is one of my pet peeves with basically the whole van world. I don't see why anybody needs a shower control in a van. I've got a pressure balancing valve over there by the water heater. When I go to take a shower, I'll either point this at the floor or point this over here at the sink. And when the hot water starts coming out, which is in about 1 pint of water, I'll turn it off, I'll bring it back in here, and I'll take my shower. It's at 95 degrees all the time. Even as the water tank gets colder, it still maintains the same 95 degrees because it's coming off the mixing valve next to the water heater. There's no reason to run 2 lines. There's no reason for anybody to spend time turning on the hot, waiting for the hot to come out, adjusting it with the cold, going back to the hot. By the time they get their water right, half their tank is gone. And then as the tank gets colder, that mixes off. So then they're remixing and remixing until they don't have any water left. But with this, it stays the full 95 degrees until that tank empties out. Back here we have the bed, which is slightly larger than a queen. This is a 6-inch memory foam mattress that I had covered in natural leather. The reason I did this was because I like the look, and if it is warm out, this doesn't sweat. because there's, you know, it has a little bit to breathe. Under here, you'll notice this was all cut out with a laser. It's for ventilation. When you pick this up and take it out of the van, maybe it weighs 20 pounds. Over here, we have a 12-volt Pro Air, 18,000 BTU air conditioner. I have my cabinets with the removable backs in case you need to fix anything. The smoke alarm, carbon monoxide detectors, window covers I had made with 1 inch of thin insulate inside of them. I just gave somebody a template. The light, more USBs in the back so you can charge while you're sleeping. Speakers in the doors. This is all clear cedar on the ceiling, all full lengths from front to back. No knots at all. These are countersunk screws. Any of these panels, like I said before, are all inside rib nuts. All you have to do is loosen them out and remove them. Even these screws here are put into rib nuts that are into the wood. So anything can be reused without having to worry that you're going to have a stripped out hole. Over here we have the step up with the 500-pound thing so anybody can go into the bed. It has a top. You can put a couple pairs of shoes in it to give yourself a little extra storage. Over here we have a stainless steel top that I had custom made, welded to the stainless steel sink that I purchased. There's no seams, everything is smooth. You just wipe it down with a paper towel. Over here, they have what they call a stone veneer that's epoxied to the panel in the back. Up over the galley, I have roof lockers. Same thing with removable panels. The Wii Boost is in here. I had these stainless steel covers made to cover the wires up because the switches are back here for the outside lights. This way, if you're in bed, you can flip and you hear something outside, you can turn those switches on and you can see what's going on outside. Over here gives me my tank level, my air conditioning control, my Wii Boost switch, my dimmers for the ceiling lights, 110 electrical outlet here in case you want to plug something in. Over here are my galley cabinets for the usual stuff, cleaning products, whatever you want to put in here. Over here I have 3 more drawers, self-closing. We keep our utensils or anything else in here. When you remove this drawer and this drawer, you have access to the diesel heater that you could work on. You could change any of the hoses. You could change the heater. If you have any problems, it's very easy to get to. These drawers, when you open them up, you squeeze something, the drawers snap right out. You could have access to that heater in less than a minute.
Michael, this is an awesome van. I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to showcase this for my show. I love the fact that you used materials that were very thin. And I know what you mean. If you use even just 3/4 inch plywood, you're still going to have some type of support. So you wind up making your wall, what, about 1.5 inches, 2 inches thick. You were able to save so much space in this van by doing it all out of aluminum construction. But then you have plywood for this, right?
Yes, that's 3/4 inch plywood.
And this is veneer.
Yeah, that's wood, maple veneer on the drawers.
And I like that there's no handles, right, that you're going to bump into down the aisle.
Yeah, I actually got that idea from George from Humble Road. He showed those handles at one time, and that's the first thing I went out and bought those handles.
And George is only 1 mile up the street, Humble Road, right here in Brick Township, New Jersey. Aisle space is really nice and generous. I like the fact that it's almost like a little bunk bed under the main bed for those occasions that you're going to have that third guest.
Yeah, I have a young daughter, believe it or not, and that's where she sleeps. She just loves it under there. She's got like her own little house. Of course, the sides are on so she can't fall into the electrical system when she's under there.
And I like the fact that the mattress, it's leather on the bottom. So if you wanted to flip it over and you didn't want the natural hide look or feel, you could just flip it over.
Yes, you could just flip it over and use the leather side. I have the lawn. I didn't mention, Patrick, that we have the lawn seal floor that's epoxied down. I know a lot of people have problems installing this, but I come from a tile background, so a friend of mine and I did this probably in about an hour. he just spread the floor as quickly as he could with the epoxy, and I rolled it from the other side, and it was down.
Wow.
No problems at all.
And there's no solar on the roof, but I noticed a solar charge display up here. But you monitor the load and the battery from an app on your phone.
Yeah, from the app. I don't think I've looked at that since I installed it.
And the DC to DC charger, really, most people think, if they're not familiar with like RVs and vans, that like vans run off of solar. They don't. They run off a battery system. Solar charges the batteries pretty slowly. That DC to DC charger you have on board, you know, in a couple hours driving, you're probably fully charged on 400 amp hours.
Yeah, this one I have here is no joke. This is a 100 amp buck boost. I don't know, for whatever reason, they don't even call it a DC to DC charger. Even though they call it 100 amp, it only charges about at 90. And you'll figure you'll get each battery done in about an hour. It would take 4 hours if you were at 0. I've never been to 0, and we've never ran out of power anywhere. That's why I never bothered installing the solar. It just didn't seem necessary.
And just a review on the chassis, it's a 2019 Sprinter 2500, 170-inch wheelbase, non-extended, 4x4 with the Blue Tech 3-liter diesel engine. It's got, what, between 60 and 70,000 miles on it?
About 66,000 miles.
66,000. And we talked off camera, you actually built another one. Now you got 2 vans.
Yes, I have 2 vans, Patrick.
well, now what are you going to do?
I don't know. I'm gonna hopefully show the other one on your show, and possibly I'm gonna try to sell one of them. I definitely want to keep one, and believe it or not, I don't care which one I keep. You know, I'm confident in this van. This has a 7-year, 140,000 mile warranty that's transferable. So, and I've maintained it myself. I change the oil every 6,000 miles. I've changed the fuel filters. I have no problem. I'm not worried about it. So I could sell the newer one, or I could sell this one. I have no problem.
What are some of the things you did differently in the other one? Was it just a different layout altogether? I didn't see that van yet.
Because I had originally partnered with some people on that van, I don't have the bank of drawers here that personally I would rather not give up. I may even install them on that van, but the other van has seating there. It has 2 alternators, a 24-volt system, 800 12-volt equivalent power, an undermount air conditioner, a Rixon system, in-floor radiant heating. It's just a whole different level.
And this one was the first time around, right? You know what you need and what you didn't need. That one seems like it has like double everything, but this one seems suitable. You had another Class B van before, and I probably had, what, AGM batteries? 80 amp
One
hours?
AGM battery underneath the driver's seat from Airstream when they first came out with the Interstate. That's what you got.
So you got like 6 or 7 times more battery capacity here with 400 amp hours of lithium.
Yeah, yeah.
And that one would have had a generator. This doesn't have a generator.
Right, I did have a generator underneath it. Yeah.
This is great. Whatever, if you decide to sell one of them, I'll make sure I put a link in the description so our viewers could click over and check out the ad. This is Patrick with New Jersey's Outdoor Adventures YouTube channel. Thanks for joining us.